to tell y'all about my friend who was reduced down to a nobody. Well, of course, to me, she's not a nobody. Her name is actually Sheree Peoples. But Kamala Harris reduced her down to a nobody when she would say, oh, nobody got hurt. When she was talking about the truancy law that she made there in California, which she was the attorney general. Now, under this truancy law, it went after parents whose children were excessively absent from school. Now, my friend Sheree was perp walked early one morning in April of 2013. She had a knock at the door and it was police officers and there was cameras and stuff everywhere and she didn't know what was going on. Well, they told her, we're here to pick you up because your child has not been in school. So they walked her to the police car and, handcuffed and all that. And she said they made another stop and they picked up another black woman who got in the back of the police car. Now, she said after 6 months, everything just all of a sudden was dropped, like out of nowhere. Well, the truth of the matter is Sheree had all of her paperwork in order. The school knew why her daughter was not there. And everybody else knew is because her daughter still battling sickle cell anemia. Now, if you know anything about sickle cell anemia, you know that it is very debilitating. It's not like a little cold or flu or something like that. It leaves people in the hospital sometimes for months trying to get back well. And of course, that was the same thing with her daughter, right? Again, it was well known, it was documented. She had all of her ducks in a row, but for whatever reason, the police didn't get that memo. In fact, she said when they picked her up, they couldn't even find a warrant. She asked them, what am I being arrested for? They was loosely trying to tell her. And they said, oh, we can't find your warrant. I guess they left it somewhere or whatever the case is. But yeah, so it was eventually dropped. But guess what? When she goes to apply for a job or housing or anything like that, she has to answer that question. Were you ever arrested? See, that wasn't removed off of her record. And so she has to say yes. And with that, oftentimes she doesn't get the call back or the place or whatever it is she's trying to do. Because most times when people look and see on your application that you've been arrested, they don't go on and say, well, just why were you arrested if you don't mind me asking? They just assume it was something bad. And then they move on to somebody else that doesn't have that on their record. And so, again, my friend was reduced down to a nobody. And every time that Kamala lies and says, nobody was hurt, it's a lie. And what she does is she erases their existence. And the other woman that was in the back of the car with Sheree, they're just a nobody now because she is trying to seek political office, and gain and all of that. So she reduces these black women, by the way, she reduces them down to a nobody. And then everybody else runs around talking about nobody was hurt. That's just some people are saying. She said it. So Sheree lying, you could go Google it, look it up. It comes up. You can see a picture of her being perp walked. So how is she a nobody that was affected when clearly she's a somebody that still has to answer for that? She wanted to go on to be a doctor. But that is hard for her to do every time she has to answer that she's been arrested due to something that really wasn't her fault. She was in compliance. She has a daughter, has sickle cell anemia, so she can't go to school. She can't be sitting up in school and she doesn't feel well. It just doesn't make any sense. So every time y'all hear Kamala or somebody that defends Kamala says that nobody was hurt, you think about that. Every time you repeat that story, you're also deducing these black women down to nobodies. They are somebody that's trying to take care of their children. At least my friend Sheree was. I don't know the other lady's story, but I can only speak to Sheree. Trying to take care of her children, and she got sucker punched at the door in the middle of the morning with police officers perp walking her. For what? Political gain? So anyway, y'all tell me what you think of that. And for more insightful commentary, please subscribe to this channel and my channel, The Demetra Kaye Show, here on YouTube.